Mr. Humphreys, are you free?
I'm free.
Forward, please.
Mind the doors.
Are you being served, sir? I'm Humphreys and I'm free. Are you being served, sir? What would you like to see?
How's it going? I'm Godless Sewing and this is the Godless Sewing channel. And today I'm going to be talking about another sewing machine that I scored. And I'm also going to take one of those hand job sewing machines out of the box and show you that I sometimes have no idea what I'm doing. But with that being said, I brought a sewing machine back to life and I'm excited because I found an old decrepit cabinet and I brought it back to its original glory. It's not necessarily where it's completely finished, but I'm gonna get there. So as always, wear a helmet, buckle up, and let's go sewing. And remember, just because something's old and dusty doesn't mean that it can't be brought back to life. So yesterday, when I was wandering through one of my favorite thrift stores in the valley, I came upon this old decrepit cabinet and I instantly knew what was inside of it. I opened that thing up and it was only for 20 bucks. And we all know what it is. It's a sewing machine. I was so thrilled. I found a 1950 something Nelco sewing machine. I couldn't believe it, but the reason why it was so cheap was because it needed a lot of work. So let's take it to the house and let's figure it out. But before we take it to the house, last time I said that all a sewing machine needs was a little bit of Berry White, lubrication, and love. And I wasn't kidding. All right, so as you can see, this cabinet is pretty trashed, but that's okay. The important part is that all the internal mechanisms still work, and the funny thing about making something out of cast iron steel is that they absolutely last forever. So knowing that this machine was completely seized, the first thing I did was take off the top, take everything apart, and completely lubricate the machine. As you already saw, it worked, but it took about 3 to 4 hours because this machine was completely finished. But when the old style machines were made, they made them with all metal parts. So if nothing's broken internally, you should always be able to turn these machines on because they were made out of solid metal and cast aluminum. And I can already tell by looking at this entire piece up here and the machine itself is one piece and it's cast iron aluminum. So, like I always say, let's go see if it works. Okay, so normally at this point, I'd grab a test piece, I would throw it in the machine and see what happens. But this machine is trashed. It's missing the tension discs, it's missing all of the face plates, it's missing a plate right here. This thing has been through the ringer. But the cool thing is, you can see the million cup rings on here for where somebody had a million cups of coffee and they always had their ashtray right here because you can see the outline on this table. So one thing that I am going to show you though is that the machine works because I spent so much time just trying to get the thing to fire, it's actually impressive that a machine that was completely dead is working again. I may not add stickers to this, but I am definitely gonna add it to the fleet, because something like this I'll be working on for a long time. But you know what? I'm excited because this is absolutely beautiful. All right, for the record, I have never successfully made a complete stitch with one of these, ever. But I went to my local 99-cent store and got one of these. Let's see what happens. Somewhere around here, I have my Doctor Who pants. And the hem has been walked on 1,000,000 times. It's loose. I really do not care if there's white thread on it. Let's move all this stuff out of the way. And let's find out. Let's find out if it actually works. Oh, keep in mind, I have no idea what I'm doing with this thing. Let's see if we can get it in there. Oh! Okay, so next time I should have this in more of a steady position, because this particular machine actually works. Let's try to get the stitch out. Oh, is it gonna come out? Oh, all right. So that was semi-successful. Like I said, I've never had a good interaction with one of these, but I will say this works better than the Singer machine. And the funny thing is that the Singer was like 10 bucks, this was 5, and it actually works. So, in a pinch, why not? So in the end, I completely scored with my Nelco sewing machine, and I learned a lesson today that the Sunbeam, I think it's called, the Sunbeam hand sewing machine actually works. It worked way better than the Singer I have, and I'm actually impressed. So, as always, reinforce your seams, be yourself, and live your life. Live your life. That way, you won't be using Twitter as a diary. And I will definitely see you next time.
High energy, full with the wisdom, sense of a rich man, knowledge and the rhythm. This is what I'm using to come up with a style, so I'll interact altogether better with the crowd. Nervous for a second and the record starts spinning, and I fall into the state of mind of what I've just created. Pumping like the doctor, D into the RE, suckers ready to leap up on the tip when we made it. Created so I'll never be